Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are in chapter 26 with the Course Companions reading group, not the holy ground, just holy ground. And we are on section 3 today, Borderland. If you'd like to close your eyes and join me in prayer. Dear God, please enable me to set aside everything that I think I know for an open mind and a new experience. Thank you, God. Amen. All right, the borderland. Complexity is not of God. How could it be when all he knows is one? He knows of one creation, one reality, one truth, and but one Son. Nothing conflicts with oneness. How then could there be complexity in him? What is there to decide? For it is conflict that makes choice complex. The truth is simple. It is one without an opposite. And how could strife enter its simple presence and bring complexity where oneness is? The truth makes no decisions, for there is nothing to decide between. And only if there were could choosing be a necessary step in the advance toward oneness. What is everything leaves room for nothing else. Yet is this magnitude beyond the scope of this curriculum, nor is it necessary we dwell on anything that cannot be immediately grasped. There is a borderland of thought that stands between this world and heaven. It is not a place, and when you reach it, it is apart from time. Here is the meeting place where thoughts are brought together, where conflicting values meet and all illusions are laid down beside the truth, where they are judged to be untrue. This borderland is just before the gate of heaven. Here is every thought made pure and wholly simple. Here is sin denied and everything that is received instead. This is the journey's end. We have referred to it as the real world, and yet there is a contradiction here in that these words imply a limited reality, a partial truth, a segment of the universe made true. Footnote 10. In other words, the term real world appears to be a contradiction in that it implies some segment of this world, which is by definition limited, partial, and illusory. That is somehow true and real. This is because knowledge makes no attack upon perception. They are brought together and only one continues past the gate where oneness is. Salvation is a borderland where place and time and choice have meaning still, and yet it can be seen that they are temporary, out of place, and every choice has been already made. Nothing the Son of God believes can be destroyed, but what is truth to him must be brought to the last comparison that he will ever make, the last evaluation that will be possible, the final judgment upon this world. It is the judgment of the truth upon illusion, of knowledge on perception. It has no meaning and does not exist. This is not your decision. It is but a simple statement of a simple fact. But in this world there are no simple facts because what is the same and what is different remains unclear. The one essential thing to make a choice at all is this distinction. And herein lies the difference between the worlds. In this one choice is made impossible. In the real world is choosing simplified. Salvation stops just short of heaven, for only perception needs salvation. Heaven was never lost and so cannot be saved. Yet who can make a choice between the wish for heaven and the wish for hell unless he recognizes they are not the same? This difference is the learning goal this course has set. It will not go beyond this aim. Its only purpose is to teach what is the same and what is different, leaving room to make the only choice which can be made. There is no basis for a choice in this complex and overcomplicated world, for no one understands what is the same and seems to choose where no choice really is. The real world is the area of choice made real, not in the outcome but in the perception of alternatives for choice. That there is a choice is an illusion, yet within this one lies the undoing of every illusion, not accepting this. It is not like your special function where the separation is undone by change of purpose in what once was specialness and now is union. And I'm going to repeat that because that's a question mark. Is not this like your special function where the separation is undone by change of purpose in what was once specialness and now is union? All illusions are but one, and in the recognition this is so lies the ability to give up all attempts to choose between them and to make them different. How simple is the choice between two things so clearly unlike. There is no conflict here. No sacrifice is possible in the relinquishment of an illusion recognized as such. Where all reality has been withdrawn from what was never true, can it be hard to give it up and choose what must be true? And now we will join in the text by Robert Perry. This is the commentary, day 302 with the Course Companion, Section 3, the Borderland. Choice is a basic topic in life, both on a philosophical level and a practical level. For instance, one of the issues that interests me is the nature of free will. Do we have free will, or is that an illusion? However, as much as the subject of choice is discussed, there is nowhere outside of the Course that you can read what this section teaches about it. In the world, we are constantly exercising choice. We are making choices each second. For instance, I am making choices right now on what ideas to express, what words to write, what keys to press. Jesus, however, thinks that we are mostly wasting our choices. The problem is twofold. First, we are putting all of our energy into choosing between illusions. Think about what we spend time choosing between. Aren't they usually physical things, different places, actions, bodies, foods, etc.? Yet if everything physical is an illusion, then we are just choosing different forms of nothingness. If we knew that absolutely nothing was behind door 1, 2, and 3, would we agonize over which one to choose? Could it be that the majority of our choices are basically the choice between Coke and Pepsi? It's a choice between two versions of the same thing. Is the choice between two versions of the same thing a real choice? Second, while we make huge distinctions between things that are actually the same, we typically fail to distinguish between things that are truly different. In our minds, having the hots for someone, gorging ourselves on a gourmet meal, and sitting down to meditate can all come under the heading of following our bliss. Yet the first two items on that list are fundamentally different from the third. Behind the first two doors is nothing, while behind the third door is everything. Here, then, is precisely where we need to exercise choice. We need to choose between things that are truly different. Yet because we put them in the same category, we choose them all. On earth, then, are we exercising choice all the time, but we are all messed up around it with the result that we largely waste our choices. In contrast, in heaven there is no choice at all. That is the point of Jesus' first paragraph. In heaven there is only oneness, there are no opposites. Therefore there is nothing to decide between. Can you imagine a state in which what is real is so patently obvious that the choice would never occur to you, and so blissfully happy that choice would be undesirable? you would want nothing else and would realize there is nothing else. So now we have two states. One, we need to learn how to exercise choice so that we can make real choices. In the other, there is no choice. Choice is an illusion. These two states are so incompatible that you might wonder if Jesus just can't make up his mind here. Which is it? Do we need to make real choices or recognize that choice is unreal? This is where a third state, the borderland, comes in. The borderland, which is equated with the real world and with salvation, is a paradox. It consists oddly of both those earlier states. In terms of the first state, we finally realize what is the same and what is different. We no longer see choice as being between illusions. Rather, we recognize that the only meaningful choice is between truth and illusions. At last, then, we make real choices, choices between truly different things with truly different outcomes. Yet, if you think about it, this way of framing it as a choice between truth and illusions implicitly contains the second state in which there is no choice. Illusions, after all, are nothing. Choosing between truth and illusions, therefore, is like sitting down for a meal and being given a choice between a real meal and a picture of a meal. That's not really a choice, is it? In the borderland, therefore, you make real choices, and this choosing is suddenly easy because you recognize that there is only one thing to choose, which means that there is no choice. Yes, the borderland is paradoxical. We are actively making choices in recognition that there is no choice. That's a paradox. We are using the illusion of choice to cancel out all illusions, including the illusion of choice. Yet this paradoxical in-between land is exactly where we want to be. We don't want to be throwing our choices away by vacillating over whether to choose Coke or Pepsi. We also don't want to be agonizing over whether to choose truth or illusion, which is what we, as course students, so often get caught in. Rather, we want to stand before the choice between truth and illusion and realize there is only one choice that can be made, which means there is no choice at all. Wouldn't our journey go immeasurably faster if we made our choices in this spirit? Thank you so much for joining with me. This was Robert Perry's clear and concise commentary on day 302 of the Course Companions Reading Schedule, Section 3, The Borderland. I love you. Thank you for joining with me.